Hi YouTubers, I'm glad to be back to be filming a new video. Today we're going to be reviewing Captain America Brave New World, starring Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, the new Captain America, and Harrison Ford as the new General Ross. Now, rest in peace, William Hurt, that played General Ross in the other Marvel movies. Such a shame. Now, the interesting thing when I saw the movie was Harrison Ford. Not a big surprise turning into the Red Hulk. Now, there's been mixed reviews about the film. Take it for what it is. Is this the greatest movie in the world? But it had some great action scenes, and this time it really didn't look at, okay, a black Captain America. It was more like they took it on the aspect of Sam Wilson still human. He hasn't got the super soldier serum, as well as Steve Rogers super soldier, Bucky super soldier, and who else took it? I forgot the other person. So we have a human Captain America, basically a normal average person. But then again, the action scenes was like, how can a human body withstand that pressure of like going in a flight suit? The good aspects about the movie was the technical of the aero fighting using the wings. Sam Wilson and was it Joaquin, the guy that's going to be the new Falcon. What an interesting team up with both actors. So this guy, Danny Ramirez, the one that plays Joaquin Torres, now, he wasn't that overly annoying. You get these side characters that are so annoying. He was the right type of fresh young blood that wants to be a hero. And they didn't, put in that message, oh, you're the hero representation, that sort of thing. It was more like you're just the hero and that's nothing else, because Joaquin, best accompaniment to Sam Wilson, not overly annoying or anything. And then, of course, the main premise of the movie of Captain America Brave New World is to tie up the story of this character of Isaiah Washington. Oh, no, sorry. Isaiah Bradley, that he was one of the experimentees. Now, I'm not going to go through a whole back history about, where does it come from in the comic books. I do remember who saw the Spectacular Spider-Man Nickelodeon, Fox Kids, sorry, when they did the whole Captain America Super Soldier, and they had other experimentees that each one of them got some power, but it was only temporary. They had to reject the serum. So I kind of took it that way, because Isaiah Bradley, yeah, he's a strong ass Cap, but of course of an older ilk. So we get the beginning of the film that Harrison Ford is now president. Wow, Harrison Ford is not the first time he's played the president. Who's seen Air Force One. Now this time as a comic book president. Now, Harrison Ford was really excited to play this role. We could see it all the way. Somewhat the antagonist, but at the same time having these American patriot values. And the way they explained the mustache. We had that clip of Harrison Ford with the mustache in the general's uniform, but Harrison Ford with the mustache doesn't look right. Sorry. Sorry about that. So they took it off. Is that a wise decision? It would have been distracting to have Harrison Ford with the mustache. Does he look good with a mustache? Well, I keep on saying a mustache. That looked weird. But we get that other not a subplot, but the other plot of General Ross, can he change? Now he's President Ross. And of course, we have the cameo of Liv Tyler Betty. Now, Liv Tyler has nothing against her, but when she did the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton, best Bruce Banner, you can fight me on this. Such a shame that the creative relationship broke down with Edward Norton and the studio. I believe he was my Bruce Banner, Edward Norton. Mark Ruffalo, he's not my Bruce Banner. And the way that they turned the Hulk into, that fierce, was it Dr. Hyde and Mr. Jackal type of thing? Is it Dr. Hyde and Mr. Jackal? Oh, I'll put the name here. And they made the Hulk basically like an idiot. Let's put it that way. With Thor, they made him an idiot. Don't get me started on that. And I lost my tantrum. And then we have Liv Tyler. Oh, she was so annoying in the Incredible Hulk. She was not my Betty Ross. Because there's that storyline that Harrison Ford, he wants to, General Ross, he wants to show that he's changed. He's not the ruthless military guy that kind of when he wants things for himself. Is in some weird way the message of him becoming president was an ultimate message to his daughter, I've changed. So that's concurrent throughout the film. So the main thing of the film is, after Captain America, Sam Wilson, and the Little Falcon of Joaquin Torres, they recuperate this substance. Now, Captain America, Brave New World ties in the Eternals. They do speak about that. Was it the eternal statue, whatever it was, that when it appeared out of the middle of the ocean in between America and Japan, something along the lines. And in there we had adamantium. Now, first signs of the mutants, we know that with Wolverine, well, I don't know how real that plot of, the Wolverine story that originally was just bone, not like metal bone, but let's go with that. That the adamantium was the final thing to make Wolverine that covered his bones and made it basically metal bones. That's been discovered, and there's that big fight between all the world and the nation because he says it's much more better than vibranium. Now, I'm not gonna start saying, this is better or not that better. Just take the movie like what they're telling us. So, like President Ross wants to make a big treaty. Think about it like the European Union after World War II, that all the countries will band together to share this new substance equally and profitable to the countries. So, for the celebration of Sam retrieving this adamantium kind of specimen that was stolen by this hitman called Seth Volgara, played by Giancarlo Esposito. He was a minor character, wasn't nothing that interesting in my eyes. That when Ross goes and invites Sam Wilson and also Sam to the White House for like a meeting, and Sam Wilson, still friendly with Isaiah and of course with Joaquin, he invites Isaiah as well to the White House. But of course Isaiah says the most obvious thing: why would I go back to the White House when the government went and experimented on me, many years ago? But Sam goes and convinces him. Now this is a story of guilt on Sam's, like how was he supposed to know? And also there's the other bit of mentioning of the leader. Like, is what they talk about Brave New World as a indirect sequel to the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton, because they do in the snippets talk about the reason that Ross became president, because he captured the person responsible for the destruction in New York between the Hulk and the Abomination. Interesting bit, if you've seen these clips, you see the original design of the Incredible Hulk, the clips from the one with Edward Norton. So I was like, wow. Kind of breaks my heart that we didn't get a proper sequel to that movie, because there was so much. If you remember, at the end of the Incredible Hulk, we have the guy playing Sam Stearns, Tim Blake Nelson, that he had a head wound, and some of Bruce Banner's blood drops into him, and then leader, big brain. We'll get on to the lead of how underwhelming he was. Imagine, I took my mom to see this, and she's very honest. She basically said the leader was too small. Even she remembers the cartoon of the Incredible Hulk on Fox Kids. The brain was too small. That's what she said. That was hilarious that she told me. Small brain and small man, that's what she told me. So they have him under lock and key, the leader. So they're there to celebrate Sam Wilson and Joaquin Torres for retrieving the adamantium, and Isaiah is there. He's very happy to go back into the White House, not as a convicted criminal, but as a free man. So they're all there taking pictures and stuff, and during the presentation, President Ross is telling about the treaty, and then all of a sudden, Isaiah looks like he's mind controlled, goes to shoot Harrison Ford, and there's other people that's mind controlled, other military guys. Ultimately, Isaiah gets put back in jail, and Sam vows to clear Isaiah's name. And then we end up, like, the big portions of this movie, it's basically, we find out that Harrison Ford, Ross, he was dying, and when he got Samuel Stearns, he knew that what happened to him increased his brain power, and what the leader said, that over time, General Ross, when it increased more and more the radiation, instead of taking it away, it made him basically his weapon for General Ross to become president. But the leader obviously had enough. If the leader for such a big brain, why just not expose him directly to the world? Now the plot, maybe that's the reason that there's a mixture of like, okay, this and that. Now, if he was such a big brain, just expose it to the world. Like, why did he take so long and make some convoluted plan to take down President Ross's, treaty. But anyway, that's again besides the point. So Harrison Ford was dying, and he asked the leader to help him stay alive. So we end up finding out that the leader had injected, gamma radiation in the pills over time and increased the dosage. Basically, the leader made Ross the Hulk without him knowing. The way we find this out, because the leader was the one sending these messages to people around the president, to kind of kill him and expose what Ross did to the Samuel Stearns, basically left him in prison. Yeah, because General Ross said here, he is also a bad guy. He was kind of desperate to get himself better, but did the wrong measures. So Sam ends up finding out what the president did, because he goes all the way to the secret compound where the leader is of Camp Echo, and we end up getting the reveal of the leader. When I saw him, it was a bit underwhelming. It was like we wanted something a bit more sinister. The brain, okay, was bigger than an average brain. They tried to make it realistic, but was he frightening? Was he like okay? It was like no. Sam Wilson was stopping the leader's plans. Because apparently what they explained, the leader's brain power, that he can calculate every probability ever. Almost like psychic abilities. But Sam was stopping his plans, making him angry. So the bottom point is the treaty gets fumbled, and Japan goes to war with America to go to the Eternal Island to get the adamantium, and there's that big dogfight, as they say. So Joaquin Torres gets injured in the Pacific Ocean, wherever the hell it is. I don't know geography, so by all means let me know in what part of the ocean there are in between Japan and America. And there's this dogfight between the jets, as well. The Japanese Prime Minister also not happy about the apparent corruption of the American government. We can see the never-ending story about corruption here. So they end up stopping, World War III from breaking out. And at the end of it, Ross kind of has to reveal the facts to the people. The truth that inadvertently all this is Ross's fault. Not before, at the very end of the movie. Now, do I wish Harrison Ford turned into the Red Hulk sooner? Yes. We got a snippet of him about to transform in the warship when they were fighting, against Japan, the miscommunication that we saw Harrison Ford's eyes go red and him like, oh my god, I'm going to Hulk out. Because it's just like, wow, I think Harrison Ford is living his best life at the latter years. 1923, he's in a Marvel movie and he seems to be really happy. That's the sense that I got for the acting. And of course, Sam Wilson, the actor Anthony Mackie playing against Harrison Ford, it was like, oh wow. Now this, Sabra, she was a widow. What a wow. This actress was very minor. It was so random to have her there. And was it? Oh, an Israeli actress. Oh, okay. Yeah, they admit the actress is from Israel, and they mentioned that she trained in Israel in the Red Room, so she's a widow, and she's the head of Secret Service for the president. Well, okay. Let's forget about her. She wasn't that interesting to me in the movie. So the bottom point is, at the very end, when Sam thinks he's got the leader, and the leader says, oh, you went and diverted my plan, but I'm gonna have to do something else. And in the middle, at the very end of the movie, President Ross is about to explain some things, and then the leader basically makes him snap, and he turns into the Red Hulk. Now, you let me know what you think about the CG of the Red Hulk. Was it that realistic? Nope. And the issues that Marvel's having of the quality of the CGI sometimes is very evident to see. But it was a great mashup in the fight. And that suit that Sam Wilson has, to combat the Red Hulk at the end. Oh wow, indestructible. That suit makes him superhuman. I'm not sure why Sam Wilson just doesn't go in that suit 24/7 when he's in a mission, because some of the scenes we can see him taking real hits, getting stabbed, this and that, but even as a normal person, he got stabbed right in the chest and right in the gut, and he still carry on. Okay, he went and bandaged up the wounds, but he still carry on doing whatever. So ultimately, Sam manages to calm down the Red Hulk. I was expecting Betty to arrive, but Sam will basically said, I know you're trying to be a good person, so now is your time to show. And we see Harrison Ford shrink down from the Red Hulk to normal size. And the most ironic thing is, at the end, okay, the treaty's all fine. We don't see who the new president is, because clearly General Ross can no longer be the president, and he's no longer General Ross. And they put him in the raft, in which we saw in Avengers Age of Ultron. Harrison Ford down the raft, and then Sam Wilson turns up. Basically, it was like a mutual understanding that you did the right thing, and we see you as a changed man. And that's what Betty turns up. He's like, hi, Dad. Now, Liv Tyler, she has a strong voice, and I feel like they told her, look, just speak normal, don't speak in hushed tones like this. And then I could really hear her more as a Betty. But the explanation why she's not together with Bruce, like, there was no real explanation, more like it was explained that Betty never spoke to her dad because she never forgave him for sending the army against Bruce. Yeah, that's fine, but like, what can I say? Like, what happens between Bruce and Betty? What happened? And Mark Ruffalo and Liv Tyler, there'll be a weird combination to see on screen, because it's just aesthetics. I'm not saying Mark Ruffalo is ugly, but it just looks like a weird matchup. Or maybe it'll be perfect, the nerdy guy with, you know, an attractive lady. So that's ultimately the movie. The leader, he's back in the prison now. What an underwhelming villain. Like, you would have thought he would have come up with a bigger plan. The movie was great. It was like a nice little action movie. I didn't really consider it like, oh, Captain America. It was more like closing up parts of Isaiah Bradley and like what Sam Wilson gonna do. And then we had a cameo for Bucky, which was a little bit disjointed. We end up finding out that Bucky is running from Congress. I was like, okay, that's random. And how's that gonna tie into the Thunderbolts? So this is the end of the review, the recap. How do I give this movie? 3 out of 5 stars? And you let me know your comments down below. And to any new viewers, I really appreciate we can hit the subscribe button. And to the current subscribers, a big thank you for watching these videos. And you let me know your comments about what you want me to review next. As I leave you always, stay safe. Bye.